Hey, Morgan Garber, I got something for you, buddy.
I got something for you guys
too. Take it in. Soak all that in. How'd you like that?
What am I soaking in?
The greatest fight song ever?
I don't know. Zach, what year were you born?
88.
88. All right. Wasn't sure what year you were born, but I went back and looked up a couple things. I went back to 1985. I didn't know, I thought you were born right around there. Michigan has 14 wins up until this point, and Ohio State has 16 wins. We are currently on a 4-game win streak, and we had a win streak of 7.
How Buckeyes always have to have a cutoff date in their arguments.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they always have a cutoff date. Every argument they have.
Well, the last podcast you yelled at me for going back in history, so I don't want to go back too far.
In 1897.
Yeah, let's make cutoff dates for us too. The beginning of time. Shut up.
You want to start in 1897? Because I got that.
Well, I was just going back to where maybe you could remember around the time you were born. So pretty much your whole life you have had a losing record.
So none of your titles count before you were born. Then none of your wins count before you were born.
I mean, we can compare our titles if you want, since we've been born.
No, I'm saying you're giving cutoff dates, so nothing before your birth counted. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just going off of since we've been alive.
Whatever. Welcome, everybody. You are listening to 2BlueandOSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment. I am Zach. I am joined with Morgan and Doug. Morgan, we're getting started early. How you doing today?
I'm good, bud. I'm ready to get started. It's a beautiful day here in Ohio. How you doing, man?
I'm great. I was at the Kansas University coaching clinic this weekend. I had a lot of fun with that. It was incredibly surprising. Their facilities I was shocked, to tell you the truth. They're top of the line. So it was good times. A little footballed out, but, getting pumped for my Michigan clinic in 2 weeks. I got Doug on the phone. Doug, what's up, big man?
Not much. Just enjoying the relatively nice weather. I mean, if you can call 50 degrees nice.
That's what we got here. I'm kind of hoping that weather stays by the time I get up there.
It should be better by the time you get up here. So
let's hope.
Hey, Doug. Did you happen to read that link that I sent you of the Argentina ref who got shot and killed for giving a red card?
I read most of it, but I do a lot of my stuff at work, so I get distracted easily.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you got a chance to read it since our last argument of how deadly hockey was.
That was a stupid argument to begin with, and now you're bringing up a guy who got shot off the field. Stop it.
It was on the field.
Off the field.
Are we done?
It's not like he pulled the gun out of his jockstrap and shot him. It was off the field.
Are you sure?
If we wanted to bring up then football's the deadliest. Because look at OJ.
Stupid.
Anyway.
Stupid argument. So we got a great show for you guys today. We're gonna discuss the Peyton Manning. I don't even know what to call it right now, but we got that going on. Well, they're not even out. We'll get there. We're gonna debate whether professional e-gaming, is in fact a sport. I am the lone defender on that one, so that should be fun. We'll hop into our top 10 sports movies, and we got some good fan interaction. I'm calling you guys fans now. If you're listening now, you're a fan, or a hater, which is still a fan in my book. So we got some listeners' inputs on that. We'll give we have 5 games that we're going to be picking this week coming up, and we're going to start keeping track of who's better. It's going to be me. And then, of course, as usual, we'll finish up with our why we love sports. But first, we had some good listener interaction from a poll question from last week of whether college athletes should be compensated beyond scholarships. Now, I'll tell you, Doug, everybody was on your side. We had Michael Tracy, absolutely not. But then he asks, but do you think athletes should be able to skip college and go straight to the pros? I thought that was an interesting question because a lot of sports do that. In basketball, used to allow it. Now they have the 1-year rule. What I would like to see in the NFL is like a farm club for the professional teams. I think that'd be a nice little outlet for guys who don't want to go to college.
Well, there's all the semi-pro stuff that's around. It's not as big as it used to be. I remember watching semi-pro games when I was a kid, but
yeah, and very few of them are getting drafted. Like the college is their farm club, and they get it for free right now. So,
right.
Chris Rack, nope. Is the free education not enough? It's an investment in their future when they go pro or graduate with a degree. So again, there's another guy who was Ian, Christopher Thomas Craig. Personally, I feel it's kind of a toss-up for me. On one hand, they're just college athletes, and the prestige alone to play in some of these colleges should be compensation enough. But nowadays, it seems colleges like to promote their athletes, professional sports stars. If this is the case, I feel compensation outside of school is well warranted. So, yeah. Mike Daly, no, they should not be compensated. They get scholarships to play sports. And if they do that well, their big payoff day is a contract in pro sports. You're an idiot.
Got some smart listeners out there.
They're dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And then my mom said no. She just said no. Just downright no. All right, whatever, Mom. You don't know what you're talking about either. That's what I had from that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. She doesn't know.
Sure she does.
Whatever.
Your mom's a very smart woman.
Well, she's wrong in this category, and so are you, but I'm on the outside looking in, I guess. The struggle is real, college athletes. I got your back, though. So let's hop into this Peyton Manning topic. For those who don't know, there's articles out there about an allegation of Peyton Manning from 20 years ago, a sexual assault allegation. Morgan, what'd you find on this, man? Because when you posted this, my first thought was this is really odd timing. I know you agreed with me on that, but the more we dug into it, the weirder it got.
Yeah, I posted it and we got talking about it, and you're right. The timing of it was weird. Coming off a Super Bowl championship, potentially being his last game. So I decided to dig into it and kind of look, and it all comes about. This Tennessee TV station decided to release a copy, pretty much a 13-year-old sealed court document, and what it boils down to is, I guess, there's a 20-year investigation going on at Tennessee for Title IX that kind of brought this up. So I just began to dig into it. Peyton Manning came out and gave his response to everything. He talked about he did not believe she saw my quote-unquote moons of his teammate. I guess this all came about when he was in the training room and the athletic trainer was checking on his foot. And one of his teammates made a little comment about his, at the time, girlfriend, which now his wife. And Dr. Jamie Notright was the trainer who was looking at his foot. And so Peyton Manning decided to pull down his shorts, but only show the backside, so only his butt. Held it down for a couple of seconds, pulled it back up, and then that was that. Peyton Manning said, after hearing these comments, I pulled down my shorts for about 1 second to expose my buttocks to him and to moon him. I immediately pulled my shorts back up while Notright continued to look at my foot. My shorts were never down for then exposing my buttocks, and I pulled them up, and I did not pull them down past my ankles. So we got two different stories. I guess Notright was complaining that she, I don't know what it was, sexual assault, I guess you can call it, is what
she used the term sexual assault, which was
yes, which, I mean, quote unquote teabag, I guess you can call it. That's
she got teabagged.
Yeah, all these memes going around of Peyton Manning and teabagging.
Yeah.
But Peyton Manning gave a testimony in 2003 in response to a lawsuit that was filed by Dr. Notright. This was against Peyton Manning and his father, and author of a book that they put out. So he gave a testimony, pretty much saying the same story. He's just defending his side. Peyton Manning did try and reach out to her once it was all said and done. Once he found out she felt this way about it, felt like she was quote unquote sexually assaulted, and he tried to call her. She didn't want to answer him, so he sent her pretty much an I'm sorry card. Pretty much, just an apology card, an apology letter to him, saying that he didn't mean it in that way. But this all comes about as just this long lawsuit filed against the University of Tennessee, and just different patterns of sexual harassment and other allegations over the past 20 years. So this is all, it's just odd timing that this is coming up right now at the end of potentially his career. I guess I don't understand why it's just now coming up.
The oddest thing for me is all these articles have Manning sexual assault in the title, when this suit that's filed right now is not against Peyton Manning. It's against the University of Tennessee for promoting a sexually abusive environment for women, and they're citing the Manning incident as a source. It's not even against Manning. That suit was settled back in 1996. Jamie got $300,000 for that settlement, and then she had another defamation lawsuit against the Mannings in the book. She got more money from that. This case has already been closed, and people are just ripping into him right now over something he did as a college student.
And that's something that's kind of bothered me too. If this is something that it was settled by Tennessee, in 1996, it was settled by the Manning family later on in the book. But the initial report never actually mentions Peyton Manning by name. It didn't come out till years later that he was, that his name was attached to it. But if you look at all the previous records, all the court documents, his name is never mentioned once. It's not until he becomes superstar Peyton Manning that all of a sudden his name's linked to all this stuff. And it's, there's a lot of things that are contradictory. I mean, not just the story from him and the story from her, but a lot of what she says and a lot of her accusations don't even revolve around him. And somehow it's automatically just his name tied to it.
Yeah, it's Peyton Manning sexually assaulted a woman, and that's the end of it. When it's so much deeper than that. This isn't a Manning issue. This is a Tennessee issue. This is a male sports issue, if you really want to get down to it, of how women are treated in locker rooms and in organizations. It's not a Manning issue.
Now, do you think it's getting blown up just by social media? I mean, this day and age, you got, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these different social medias, whereas back in the day, you didn't have as much, like, for instance, a Jim Brown. And back in that day, we didn't have any of this Twitter and texting and Instagram and Facebook. So do you think it's become a bigger thing because we have social media now?
I think it's blown up because of social media, but more so because people just read the headlines, not the actual article, or look into it themselves. They just read the headline. One of the headlines was Peyton Manning's career started on a lie. A lot of that was poor reporting, really. Because you don't know. It's a he said, she said thing. People don't read the articles. They just read the headlines and they give their 2 cents.
And now people are starting to rip Peyton Manning, who he is as a person and whatnot.
Listen, look back at yourself when you were in your college age, 18, 19, 20 years old, and everybody who's ripping Peyton Manning, do that yourselves. He did something dumb, whether he mooned his teammate or not, or teabagged a girl or not. If there's a female trainer around, you shouldn't be pulling your pants down, period. Unless you're in a relationship with her, and then that's a different story. But so what he did was dumb, regardless of the situation. His time in the pros and what he's done for communities he's been in, we're gonna negate all of that because something he did when he was a young, dumb college kid. I don't know. That seems hypocritical. I won't do it because I look back at me when I was 19, 20 years old, and it was bad. So I did some dumb stuff too.
I think we all can say that, when we were that young, we did stupid things. For me, that's kind of why I joined the military, being young and doing stupid stuff. I just don't like the fact that people are starting to bash Peyton Manning and, almost put this, almost like an asterisk by his career over something that happened in 1996 where we don't know what really happened. We weren't in the room. You got he said, she said, which is 90% of what happens now. So we don't know what happened. We don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth. But the fact that this was settled years and years ago and it was over with and nobody brought it up until now, just because there's this whole ongoing investigation with the University of Tennessee. Now all of a sudden Peyton Manning's the headline. I guess I just don't see why people are blowing this up to such a big thing when it's already been settled and over with.
What do you think about that, Doug?
Well, honestly to me, it sounds like someone's just trying to capitalize off of his current, Super Bowl champion popularity after 20 years of all this stuff. Yeah, he admitted to mooning her, and the extent of it, it's a he said, she said type situation. But at this point, 20 years already gotten money from him twice, or from him and from Tennessee twice. It's like she's just going after more. And you know what? If I'm wrong, or if we're wrong, or whatever, if the accusations are accurate, I mean, sexual assault of any kind is not, tolerable. But, until that's actually proven and decided, we need to back off Manning and take it as it is. I mean, it's right now, it's just an accusation. It's an unresolved issue. Until it's resolved, then everyone should save their judgment for later.
Let me ask you this though: if it was found that he teabagged this trainer, this female trainer, would that discredit who he is now to you? In your mind, would that discredit who he is now?
No, see, from what I was reading, the accusation was that he mooned. Well, he shoved his ass in her face, basically. His thing is he was mooning someone that was across the room. Now, in the initial one, it was listed as just seeing his butt, and then eventually it moved on to showing his butt and testicles and everything else from behind. So, he was mooning one of his teammates, or he was, whatever. But before that, she said that she was uncomfortable with this conversation, which she was asking, like, what she likes to do and where she likes to hang out and who her friends are, which to me sounds like a college student making small talk while sitting there before doing a prank that was probably instigated by his friends. That's just my feelings on it when I was reading it. So, I mean, that might not be accurate. And again, we might figure out later on or find out later on that he was just being a dirtbag. And until then, we have to reserve our judgments for what we know, which is almost nothing. We have a story from two different sources, and we just have to wait and see what's accurate and what's not. So
this has become almost bigger than the HGH.
That's dumb.
What's that?
Oh, I said this has become almost bigger than his little HGH scandal he was in.
It's overshadowed the HGH scandal. You don't even hear about that anymore.
I don't know why we have to take someone who, I mean, yeah, he hasn't officially announced or anything yet, but he's done. He should be done. He just won the Super Bowl, and it's like, okay, let's figure out how many things we can do to tear someone down who, honestly, there's many people that probably hate him for just, being an awesome quarterback. Nobody has ever, that I've heard of, has just been like, oh, I hate him because he's, a horrible person. I mean, it's not a Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton situation. It's just, he's a good player and people don't like him for that.
Let me ask you, Morgan. If it was found that he did do these things to this trainer, in your mind, does that tarnish his entire career?
No, because like you said, when you're young and dumb, you do stupid stuff. Do you consider that sexual assault? I don't know the definition of what that is.
I don't want to discredit anybody out there who's ever said that. That's a strong word. And to me, that's a very serious crime. Obviously, getting teabagged or getting a butt put in your face, that's a prank. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to go down that road.
No, it's a borderline touchy subject because you don't want to start offending people. But when you throw sexual assault in every headline to get people to click on it, and then once you read it, and you're like, oh, he mooned somebody, which is Peyton Manning's story. Granted, we don't know what really happened, but if it was the teabag, where's the cutoff for sexual assault? Like, what exactly is sexual assault? To me, that's a lot worse than a teabag.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but there's people out there who will disagree with us.
But no, I don't. It won't make me look at his career, him as a person, any different from what he's overcome. I mean, there's players, you do stupid stuff and you overcome it, and you do great stuff for the team, great stuff in the community. Become a role model for young kids, become the face of the NFL, face of a franchise, which is what Peyton Manning has become. So if this did happen, he moved on and became a better person.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't judge anybody on their past.
Agreed. Did you guys see that there's a national women's rights group calling for him to lose all his sponsorships?
Yes, I did see that.
So if he retires, he's going to lose nothing? Oh, geez.
Well, I'm sure Papa John's and Nationwide will still pay him if he does commercials. But they want him to lose all of them. They want all these companies to stop sponsoring him pretty much. And for something that happened 20 years ago, shut up. Just shut up. That's so dumb. But like you guys said, we don't know a whole lot. We're in wait and see mode with what happens with this. Again, it's more of a Tennessee issue and really a sports issue than a Manning issue. We'll keep tabs on that, and if anything does come to that, we'll probably have another conversation.
I think the big issue of the lawsuit filed against the University of Tennessee should be a bigger thing.
That should be. You're right, Morgan. Yeah. People are just – Peyton Manning is a clickbait on their articles. That's why they're using him. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. And this topic, I don't even know if we would ever have talked about this unless Morgan put a post up on his Facebook and it started this whole just ridiculous argument. I'm going to turn it over to Doug right now, who's got something pretty big to say on the e-gaming / esports topics. What do you got for us, Doug?
Well, first, I want to start out by I'm going to name a player of a particular sport. And I want you guys to try and give me the team and the sport they play. And I think it's going to be pretty easy. So let's just go ahead. Let's start with Giovanni Bernard.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Who dey?
Cincinnati Bengals. All right. So how about Andre Drummond?
Detroit Pistons.
Pistons, okay. It's the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Let's go with Mike Trout.
Baseball Angels.
He's Angels, yeah.
Center fielder.
Which is MLB, okay.
Yeah.
So, how about Patrick Kane?
Screw him. But Blackhawks.
Okay. Blackhawks, NHL. All right, so how about Byung-Hwan Lee?
Is that ping pong?
No, that's not ping pong. Here, I'll give you another one. Sing Hyuk Lee.
Yeah, how about Will Barton before 2 weeks ago?
Okay. Chen Bo.
No idea.
Okay, so I just named, 4, 5, 7 athletes, or what people are calling athletes. 4 of them you got from the major sports, basketball, baseball, hockey, and football. The 3 that you missed are e-sport athletes. So, obviously, we can just say that apparently the argument that esports is more popular than other sports is not accurate. But, looking it up, the definition of a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill, which an individual or team competes against another or others for their team. Okay? Competition is an activity or condition of competing. Sports are competition. Competitions are not always sports. Easy as that. My personal opinion, e-gaming is not a sport. You can call it esports all you want. It's not a sport. It's not physically exerting. It is not difficult to heat up a Hot Pocket and then sit down in front of your computer and play a game. So I was looking into it. Sports in 2015, they're your big sports. There are more than 3.5 million injuries each year. In League of Legends, which is the one we were competing, there's less than 1 per year. The only recorded injury was a contestant leaving, citing persistent wrist injury. Lots of long nights on the joystick will do that, I guess. I remember when I discovered online porn, I had some persistent wrist injuries. Talking about the popularity, this is an argument we got into on Morgan's Facebook, the popularity of online gaming versus actual sports. Revenues in 2015, Major League Baseball was $9.5 billion, NFL was $13 billion, the Premier League was 3.3, NHL 3.7, NBA 4.8, all billion. League of Legends topped out at 1.25 billion. So we can see where the most popular argument goes there. Highest earnings for athletes 2015. Floyd Mayweather, $300 million. Pacquiao, $160 million. Ronaldo, $79.6 million. Messi, $73.8 million. And then something we never talk about, Roger Federer was $67 million in tennis. Highest League of Legends player last year was $479,762. The league minimum in the NFL is $435,000. So basically, the guy on the practice squad is making as much as this apparent champion is making, or close to what this apparent champion is making. It's ESPN's genius reaching out to a different fan base by putting online gaming on their programming. I understand that. It's also a slow time of year in real sports. So you got to fill some holes with something, and if you're going to reach out to a different fan base, then why not reach out to the ones that aren't as athletic as the rest of us and put online gaming on there? Yeah, I don't see the physical exertion. I don't see the training that goes into it, the hours spent in the gym or on the field or wherever you want to practice. The pitch, I guess, would be for soccer, and it's gaining in popularity. I understand that. It's still not a sport. It's a competition. And like I said, not all competitions are sports, but all sports are competition. Maybe someday if you have virtual reality where you're swinging at an actual person in order to get your kills in your video game or whatever, then maybe we can talk about it. But even then, it's a game. It's not a sport. And I don't see the draw to it. I mean, I play video games on occasion as well, but I don't claim that I'm an athlete because of it. I don't claim that I'm a soldier because I play hours of Halo. I don't claim that I'm a Nordic warrior because I play hours of Skyrim. I'm a guy playing a video game where if I'm out on the field playing football and being paid for it, I play football. Or if I play soccer and get paid for it, I play soccer. If I'm an athlete getting a free education because of my scholarship, I'm an athlete. So that's my take on it all.
Okay. All right, Morgan, I'm going to let you go next.
All right. Doug, those are good points. The definition of sport and competition are clearly different, and the key word in the definition of sport is physical exertion. I don't know what physical exertion there is in video gaming, but I don't know if you guys know who John Skipper is. He is the president of ESPN, the president of the worldwide leader in sports. He came out and said, and I quote, "It's not a sport, it's a competition." the man who I'm pretty sure knows what a sport is, runs the worldwide leader in sports, came out and said it's not a sport, it's a competition. I think the reason why ESPN promotes it and dubs it as that and pushes it is because the esports or e-gaming, as I want to call it, video market is expected to be worth $300 million by 2018. So why would you not want to push it to make a little bit of that money? It's all about money. So in this day and age, where technology is starting to rule the world now, I mean, you'd be, as a businessman, dumb to not push it. But when the president of ESPN comes out and says, it's not a sport, it's a competition, that right there should, I mean, I don't care what stats you throw out, what endorsements you get for this, endorsements you get for that, sponsors you get. When the man who pretty much oversees sports says it's not a sport, it's a competition, I mean, what more is there for you to put out? It's all about money. I mean, I have some friends that are in pretty good shape that love video games, and that's great. But a world where full of obese people, obese children that sit around and play video games a lot, I don't know what part of that is a sport. I mean, Zach, you might help me. You might try and help me to understand what makes it a sport. But something that is indeed, like, facts, scientifically proven, a part of obese is sitting around playing video games. That's not a sport. It's all you.
Oh, it's my turn? I want to first welcome our guest today. We have Stan Gable from Revenge of the Nerds.
Get those nerds! Nerds! What?
And then followed by Biff Tannen.
Hello? Anybody home? Hey, take the fly. Sit.
That's you guys right now. Way to perpetuate the stereotypes of the jock, the high school equivalent of jock. Good job, gentlemen. It's awesome. So, okay, let's start it off with this. Your guys' definition of...
You're calling us the high school equivalent of a jock?
Yes.
How many of your old high school T-shirts do you still own?
High school T-shirts I still own?
Yeah, your high school football ones.
From my high school?
Yeah.
0.
Really?
My college girlfriend took them all. She has all my high school sports stuff. So,
okay.
0. I have all the high school that I coach at.
I mean, you were a jock in high school.
I was. I guess by I was a student athlete.
You were a student athlete, huh? Okay.
Did I give you time to talk? Do I get my turn? Do I get my turn? No?
No.
Let's start off with you guys' definition of sport, all right? The activity involving physical exertion. That's the part you guys are hung up on, right? Can we all agree that the rest of that definition you agree with that this falls under, correct? Skill in which the individual team competes against another for entertainment.
Yeah, but it's the whole definition, not just
E-games falls under that part, correct?
It's the whole...
I understand. No, I know. I'm right, correct? Right. It falls under the rest of that, right?
Yep.
So the one thing you guys get hung up on is physical exertion, correct? Yes?
Well, that's part of the definition, isn't it?
Yes, okay, all right. Let's say physical activity. If you do a physical activity, there's physical exertion, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Doug?
Physical activity, yes.
Yes. Okay. What's the definition of physical activity, guys? Don't worry. There's no cliffhanger here. I'll feed you, baby birds. Any bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that requires energy. How many muscles does it take to move your hand?
Less than it takes to move your whole body.
You're right. But there are muscles that require. It's 38 muscles, by the way. There's obviously physical activity through movements of hands, which, as you guys said, if there's physical activity, there is physical exertion. Therefore, by your base definition, it still falls under. Now, the level of extent you can argue with, and if we went into that argument, I would not be on this side. I'd be on your guys' side. But you can do that with any sport. Soccer fans do that with football fans already, right, Morgan? They run for 90-plus minutes, and in football, you're only, exerting for 10 minutes of an actual game? something like that.
If he was mad.
Yeah.
If he was mad.
But if you're making that argument, you have to believe you have to agree on a fundamental level that there is some sort of physical exertion.
Okay, so if it's just physical exertion and for entertainment purposes, then is sex a sport?
Why not?
Because I'm exhausted afterwards, and I usually.
Are you competing though? Are you competing to finish first? Is that what you're doing? I mean, if that's your lifestyle, I say yes, go for it. Make it an Olympic sport. I don't care.
I can become in second.
But yeah, if you want to nitpick, sure, why not? My thing is,
we can say anything is pretty much a sport if we are entertained by it and if we exert ourselves in some way.
if you're entertained by it and there's exertion happening, why wouldn't you consider it a sport? Why would you question somebody else's belief of what a sport is just because it doesn't fit your narrow-minded view of what a sport is?
Narrow-minded.
Yes. I just established that e-gaming fits your very definition of sport that both of you said.
I don't feel that it's physically exerting. I do not feel exhausted after playing a video game.
Well, you're not a professional gamer either. You saying I play video games and comparing it to a professional gamer is like us saying we went out in Yokosuka, Japan and played backyard football. We're now Peyton Manning and Tom freaking Brady.
I think we were more like Brady and Gronkowski, personally.
Well, that's probably closer. That's probably a closer. Hello, Giselle.
You know what? You got the abilities to be a 7th-round pick, and I was pretty much the best tight end that ever graced Yokosuka football field.
You're getting off topic again. Why do you always do this to me? Let me have my moment to talk. That's pretty much what you can't just say. I play video games, therefore, I heat up hot pockets and then go play video games. Therefore, that's what professional gamers do. Because it's the same as a professional athlete, a professional football player, basketball player. We go out and shoot hoops doesn't mean I'm a freaking LeBron James. I'm not playing at his level. So that was dumb. $1.25 billion for a single e-game. You didn't even give us the total for the entire gaming system, professional gaming circuit.
No, I gave it for that game, but that doesn't result from the actual competition itself. That results from people buying the game online.
You don't buy the game; it's free. I play that particular game; it's free. There's downloadable content of champions that you can earn throughout the game and skins. By the way,
okay.
The game itself is in fact free. You can download it right now if you want to. We'll play tonight. I'm playing tonight. Mantheon, Timo, baby.
Your major sports, that comes from revenue generated from people watching, revenue generated from people buying jerseys, from buying all kinds of memorabilia. Who's buying whatever Young King Lee or whatever his name is? Does he got a jersey?
Probably the people in China and Korea where they actually not only have it as a professional sport, they give scholarships in college for them. So, suck it.
So
let me get back to. I'm not done yet. I am not finished yet. You guys shut your mouths. I gave you your turn. You will give me mine, sirs.
you keep pausing. So when you pause, I feel like you're done.
Okay, in order to play a professional gamer, guys, you really have. There is. Doug, you made the.
I'm sorry, a professional what?
Professional gamer.
A professional gamer.
Yes.
Professional gamer.
Yes.
So not a professional athlete, a professional gamer. Okay. Continue.
No, I actually have to classify them in a different section for you to understand. Because if I said professional athlete, you would get butthurt again, like you did on Facebook. Anyways, there's an entire section on Facebook of your nonsense. Your Stan Gable spew. Anyways, you have to practice for an extended amount of time, just like you do in any other sport. Okay? You have to. It has to be done. You can't just go out there and just play. I tried doing that, and I'm an average player at best. So they put in 14, 15 hours a day into their trade. It is their trade, by the way. It is their profession. They get paid to do it just like any other professional athlete. And you guys always bring up the physical activity. To be on point mentally, to up your mental game, you have to have be in good physical condition. So these athletes now aren't just playing their game; they're also training in regular gyms, like a normal athlete would.
Really?
Yes.
I would like to see proof of these kids, because they are children.
Some of them are in their mid-20s.
Exactly. I want to see what these children playing their video games, how they work out, like thumb crunches. Can we have a thumb war? Does that count as a workout for the day?
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Narrow-mindedness. There it is again, folks.
I want to have a thumb war with you and see who's gaming.
Well, you would lose that as well. Shut your mouth. I'm not done yet. It requires skill.
Because you got freakishly long fingers.
It requires practice. It requires dedication. And these games require teamwork and strategy, just like you need in any other major sport. Not to mention the U.S. State Department, now recognizes it as a sport, as a professional sport, and considers these guys professional athletes. Gaming was in the Winter X Games last year. They're snowboarding, they're skiing.
Games.
So snowboarding's not a sport? Skiing's not a sport?
You're the one that classified them as X Games.
That's what it's called. That's what the whole tournament is called, idiot.
Extreme games, not extreme sports.
So snowboarding's not a sport?
No, I'm saying if you classify them individually as sports, it's one thing. But when you combine all of them together and...
So the Olympic Games are not sports then. You freaking...
each individual
You frittata. You are a frittata.
Combined. You can't call me a frittata if you can't name the character, or if you can't name the actor that plays the frittata in that show.
I can't.
John LaJoy. Boom.
Whatever.
Frittata.
And you guys are all bringing up these guys as hot pocket eating, beer drinking, non-athletes. Non-athletes. Here you go. Here's a list. Here's a list of some athletes for you. You gave a list of athletes. I'll give you a list of athletes too. CC Sabathia. You're right. He's an incredible athlete. But Roger Clemens, who once picked a perfect game while still drunk. Whew. You got to be physically tuned to do that, huh? Tony Stewart.
Yeah. To throw a perfect game while you're hammered, yes, you have to be very, very, very.
You're right. He's such in peak physical condition while hammered. Good job. How about John Daly? There's an athlete for you. Prince and Cecil. Shut up! Am I done? Didn't we just say we're not going to yell at each other? Let me finish first, then you can talk. Prince and Cecil Fielder. Tony Saragusa. William the Fridge Perry. Vince Wilfork. Yeah, he's an athlete. How about Butterbean? Who remembers Butterbean? 420-pound boxer. Well, Babe Ruth. A dude missed spring training one time. He ate 17 hot dogs and drank 13 beers.
He also hit how many home runs?
So what? So these guys play their sport just as well as they do.
Oh, my God.
You guys keep talking about physical activity, and then I just let you guys who couldn't freaking run half a mile. Shut up. You guys are so ignorant on this topic. They're athletes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Butterbean was a phenomenal athlete at 420 pounds.
To box for how many rounds? Yeah, you got to be in somewhat good, somewhat decent shape to go.
Dude, he wasn't even a healthy 420. Go look at a picture of Butterbean.
So look at the world's strongest man competition. Those guys are all huge, and that's not all fat. There's muscle underneath it, but you think they're not athletes because they're not in?
No. See,
your ideal
I don't have to classify that. I think all these guys are athletes, including professional gamers.
So
professional gamers, yes.
Yep.
So if you're at work, let's say you have a desk job and you're at work and you're typing away and you're moving your muscles and your fingers.
Is that competition? Your argument's already invalid.
Shut up. Is that a sport? Because you're moving.
There's no
muscles?
competition against another team. The whole definition, remember? Isn't that what you guys wanted? The whole definition? I made it fit your own definition.
There's competitions at work.
For entertainment.
Everyone's competing to
For entertainment purposes?
to get raises.
For entertainment purposes.
Depends on how.
Oh, stop it! Now you're just nitpicking. I made a definition fit your own definition of sport.
Competition. Yes, competition.
You're wrong. Okay, I want to let everybody know. I want to let everybody know I went into this knowing Doug was not going to change his mind. Doug lives in a box. If things are in his box that he's very passionate about. If they're not, like soccer or e-gaming, he walks around the edge of that box with 2 middle fingers in the air. That's what Doug does.
That is not true. I have accepted soccer. I won't watch it, but I researched enough to know that it's not the Premier League, it's the Premier League. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to go watch the girl soccer team of one of our local high schools just to show you. But I will not go watch someone play video games.
How about you come watch the Premier League with Morgan and I? Watch a Gooners game.
You're gonna pay for my airfare?
Heck no. I'm coming up your way in 2 weeks. Just gotta get Morgan to come with us.
I'm not stepping foot in that
Not
state.
too far. Just hit 94 over to 131. You'll be here in no time, Morgan.
I think I'll pass. I think so.
So, do you have something else to say? Can we move on?
Hold on. This is my final thing I want to say, all right? So, you gave out some good points. You gave out some good definitions. And you may not have changed my mind. Everything fits your definitions of it. And if you want to categorize it going by definition, yeah, it can be a sport. You're right. Going by pure definition, once you break everything down. But to consider something that leads to obesity to be a sport, to me personally, you know, I went to school and studied, you know, childhood obesity and physical activity and whatnot. I don't see the relationship between something that's a cause to obesity and sport in the same sentence.
Well, again, we're talking about the average gamer. Me sitting on my couch all day playing FIFA or League of Legends compared to professional. To be at the professional level, again, you have to be in peak mental condition. In order to be in peak mental condition, you got to be in peak physical condition. So you can't be that slob and be a pro anymore because your mental game is off track.
So if you're comparing like professionals, yeah, I can put it underneath there. But
those guys you put on Facebook that you shared, those were professionals. The CLG, I know those teams.
I just don't see it though. Everything fits your definition, right? I just don't see it. And then when the president of sports entertainment comes out and says it's not a sport, it's a competition.
So you say the president of sports of ESPN, and I agree he is the president of ESPN. Does every view of the president of ESPN, who's there probably because he's a great businessman, do you think his idea of sport is universal? Therefore, we must follow this president of ESPN because he's the president of ESPN because he's a great businessman?
No, it's not universal, but a man that's running a business that involves sports come out and say it's not a sport, it's a competition. And it's all about money. I mean, you know, we're expected to grow 300 million by 2018.
He's the guy that's putting it on that channel, putting it on ESPN, and claiming that it's not a sport. It's just a competition. He's the one in charge. He's the one saying that even though he's the worldwide leader of sports president, that this is not a sport. This is just a competition that they're putting on TV to gain more interest, to get more money.
Yeah, because he's a businessman. He's not a sports guy. He's not a sports guru. He's a businessman. Don't even bring the president in. I could be the president of a maple syrup conglomeration and just have no idea about maple freaking syrup, which I don't. But if I was a great businessman, I could run it.
When you come up here, could you stop by your grandparents and get me some of that maple syrup, by the way?
I sure can. Get some of that walnut candy, too.
Oh, yes.
That's good stuff. Are you ready to move on? You good, Morgan?
Yeah, what's our next one?
No, I'm not good, but let's move on.
What else do you have? What else could you possibly say?
Nothing. I I guess I just don't understand.
You don't. It doesn't fit your mind of sports. I understand. I actually don't understand how you could be that way because of all three of us, being the original soccer fan, being a guy who adopts pit bulls, which get a bad rap on the outside, but you know they're not what they appear. I thought you'd be a little bit more open-minded than Doug, who's walking around the edge of his box with both middle fingers in the air right now.
I am open-minded because I listen to you and I see where you're coming from. I see where it fits the definition. So I do see where you're coming from.
You just don't see them out there competing themselves, so you have a hard time. It's that old mindset of what a sport is. That's all that is.
You're right. You are right because I don't see you sit on your butt moving your thumbs as a sport. But if it fits a definition, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is.
We'll get into another one next week with that. Can't wait for that one. Let's move on though. We put out on Facebook and Twitter for people to give us their top 10 sports movies, and we said we would give ours as well. Who wants to kick it off for us? Morgan?
You should.
I should?
Yeah.
Boom. Here comes Zach Tillman's top 10 sports movies of all time. Number 10, Cinderella Man. Who doesn't get pumped during that feel-good story, coming back and beating the bear? Number 9, The Sandlot. Favorite childhood movie of all time. But as a sports movie, it's kind of moved down the list. I've gotten older. It happens. Number 8, Brian's Song, the ultimate male cry movie. Ladies, you want to see your man shed a tear? Put on Brian's Song. Number 7, Mystery Alaska. I won't give any spoilers. Greatest end of a sports movie of all time, in my opinion. Number 6, Tin Cup. Number 5, Hoosiers. That one's self-explanatory. Number 4, Field of Dreams. He's playing catch with his dad at the end. That's so awesome. Number 3, Major League. I actually watched this yesterday. It's on Netflix. Number 2, Remember the Titans. And number 1, because we established that this was the original sport, is Gladiator. Number 1 on my list is Gladiator. When we were talking about this last week, we all established that Gladiator qualifies as a sports movie because gladiatorial arts was a sport, the original sport. Boom.
Well, you bumped your entire list down based off of one suggestion.
Gladiator is top 5 movies all time for me. So if it's it's the only sports movie in my top 5 all time list.
I thought we were joking.
No, I was not joking. It's number 1 on my list.
Because I had it, but I'm like, no, they're gonna rip me for it. No.
You thought I was gonna rip you, and here it is, number 1.
yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna rip for Gladiator. Jeez, it's just a movie.
All right, who's up next?
I can go.
All right,
number 10, Victory. It's an old soccer movie. Has Michael Caine, Sylvester Stallone, and Pele in it. Pretty much, German POW camp organizes a match between some of the Nazi soccer players and their captives, and Sylvester Stallone plans this big, huge escape for everybody. To me, as a soccer fan, I thought that was a pretty good movie. Number 9, The Replacements. I'm a huge comedy guy, so you get comedy in sports. You got The Replacements. Number 8.
Shane Footsteps, Falco.
Yeah, we won't mention when he went to high school or college though.
He lost.
Number 8.
He lost the bowl game, by the way,
For Ohio State, I believe.
against Florida State in the movie.
Yep.
Boom.
Moving on. That's just a movie. Number 8, Space Jam. How can you not have Space Jam? Excellent movie. 7, Rocky. 6, Remember the Titans. 5, The Blind Side. 4, Hardball. 3, Miracle.
What was
Coming at number
Hardball is that
okay.
Keanu Reeves.
you must have a Keanu Reeves hard on.
I know. I kind of went through my list. I'm like, wow, Keanu Reeves, really? Not at number 2 is 42, Jackie Robinson.
It's a good one.
Yeah, to me, that was an excellent one. And my number 1 movie, me personally, I watch it over and over again, is Friday Night Lights. I just love the story. I guess I like the whole that it's based on a true story, like a lot of these, how it ends, how just the whole movie kind of suckers me in every time over and
Well,
over.
it is based on a true story, but in the true story, they actually got killed in the national or the state title game. It wasn't
Yeah.
close at all. They got beat down.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, top 10.
Well, I'm going to say number 10 is going to be Harry Potter because I'm a huge Quidditch fan.
Can I slap him through the phone? Can I do
I
it?
was kidding. Actually, to be honest with you, I had a list of 42 that I had to limit down to 10. So, yeah. Number 10 is going to be Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise. Classic rubbing his racing scenario.
That was in my honorable mentions.
Speaking of not a sport,
What's that?
I said that was in my honorable mentions was Days of Thunder.
Honorable mention. See, that's good enough. Number 9 is going to be Slapshot. Nothing like watching the Hanson brothers just doing it out on the ice and kick some butt with their competition. Number 7, I actually had something different down, but I'm going to change it just because I feel like this isn't good enough, or this is better than an honorable mention, but it needs to be on there. So I'm going to go ahead and say Cinderella Man is going to be my number 7. I originally had Rocky on there, but there's only a few of the Rockies that really do it for me. The rest of them are terrible, like Tommy the Machine Gun. Number 6 is going to be Brian's Song. Again, Ultimate Cry Movie. The Guy Cry Movie, I should say. Number 5 will be Mystery Alaska.
5 on your list.
Actually, that's number 6.
Okay.
Number 6, Mystery Alaska. Awesome movie. Again, hockey, great. 5 is going to be We Are Marshall. Based on the true story of what happened with University of Marshall, it's kind of hard to not watch that and have some feels. Number 4 is going to be a 3-way tie between all the Mighty Ducks movies.
Boo.
Go ahead.
Boo.
Come on. You can't tell me that when the game-winning goal comes down to the kid that doesn't even play during the season because he's not that good and he scores on the triple deke, that doesn't warm your heart a little bit.
Oh, the original Mighty Ducks can be on your list. All 3? D2, the Mighty Ducks?
D2, the Ducks are back.
Ugh. Ugh.
Playing against the
And then they go to a prep school in D3? Who cares?
Iceland, going against the Iceland team? Yeah, come on. Number 3, which was not on anyone's list, $1 Million Baby.
There's a reason it's not on anybody's list. It's a dumb movie.
That's a great movie. Clint Eastwood should come over there and smack you across the face for that. Number 2 is going to be Miracle. And the number 1 all-time sports movie on my list. Put the women and children to bed. Let's go looking for supper.
Ooh, the program. Nice. That's honorable mention for me. I wish it could have made top 10, but my list is too deep.
Honorable mention for me was Varsity Blues, just because there's nothing like Thunderstruck when they were getting their butts kicked in that game. You know, that was kind of a good moment. But yes, the program, greatest sports movie on my top 10, because let's be honest, everything we've covered in college sports or college football so far with Peyton Manning and paying players and all that stuff, all covered in this movie.
We had a couple listeners out there submit their top 10. This is Tom Groholski. Number 10, Brian Song. 9, Major League. 8, Miracle. 7, Bull Durham. 6, The Blind Side. 5, Remember Titans. 4, Caddyshack. How did Caddyshack not make any of our lists?
That's a good one.
3, The Sandlot. 2, Field of Dreams. 1, Hoosiers. He had honorable mention of A League of Their Own. No crying in baseball. Moneyball, and The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, which I've never even heard of. So.
Well, there's one problem I have with The Blind Side, okay? And that is that Michael Orr came out and he's like, yeah, I wasn't that stupid. Like, I knew how to play football.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Chris Rack, he didn't give us a number, so I'm going to go from top to bottom. He said the greatest game ever played, Mystery Alaska, Remember the Titans, Caddyshack, Tin Cup, The Sandlot, We Are Marshall, Murder Ball, The Blind Side, and Miracle. I don't know what Murder Ball.
Okay.
I've never seen Murder Ball, I don't think.
Never heard of it.
Mike Daly, number 1, Rocky. Seriously, you Rocky guys, do you even understand Stallone half the time? How do you enjoy that movie? That's one of my least favorite, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
Number 2, Major League. Number 3 was Caddyshack. 4, Miracle. 5, Field of Dreams. 6, I don't even want to say it, Rudy. God Hates Notre Dame and Rudy Should Have Been Cut. Number 7, The Sandlot. Number 8, Remember the Titans. 9, Hoosiers. And 10 was 61. Those were the 3 that I had. Do you have anybody, Morgan?
Yeah, I got a couple people. Just so you guys know, I just looked up Murder Ball. It's quadriplegics who play full contact rugby in wheelchairs overcome unimaginable obstacles to compete in the Paralympic Games in Athens, Greece. So it seems like it's got a real good story to it.
All right.
So
I won't check it out.
Just some people who I know. Kyle Mullins put out Space Jam, Waterboy, Blue Chips, Rocky, Remember the Titans, Varsity Blues, The Natural, Any Given Sunday, For the Love of Game, and Miracle. Whitney Vaughn put out Waterboy, Blindside, Gridiron Gang, Hardball, Remember the Titans, Facing the Giants, Rudy, The Longest Yard, Angels in the Outfield, and Space Jam.
Angels in the Outfield. There we go.
Which longest yard, though? We talking original longest yard or Adam Sandler?
No one our age besides you has watched the original Longest Yard.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Adam Sandler.
So much better.
Adam Sandler.
Her honorable mention, Whitney's honorable mention was The Little Giants.
The Little Giants.
Oh, Little Giants.
I forgot about the Little Giants, actually.
That was on my list of 42, but...
That's probably on my list.
Do you remember the Arab there?
I don't.
Anyone?
I know I've seen it. I do not remember it all, though.
Kevin Bacon goes to Africa to recruit.
Oh, yeah, to recruit the center? Yeah. I did. Is that in your list, too, of top 42?
That was in my top 42. My top 42 has some pretty crazy random stuff in there, but it was, they're all awesome movies. I mean, how do you not like The Little Giants?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and Gladiator was on there. And then one of my favorite movies, but I can't really say it's one of my favorite sports movies, is a wrestling movie called Win Win.
Never seen it.
It's really good. I actually think you would like it, but I've got whipping on there, roller derby, but I was like, we can already get the sport in that one. And then dodgeball, because it's dodgeball.
Are you gonna go down your whole list of 42 now? Top 10.
No,
Jesus.
Just listen to a couple. I can though. I got it all right here.
Shut up.
Cool Runnings. How did no one say Cool Runnings?
Oh, Cool Runnings.
Because again, that didn't happen that way. At all.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares? It's still a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's
My
a
wife's
great
never
story.
seen it.
Your wife never seen Cool Runnings?
Jamie has never seen Cool Runnings.
You better Netflix and chill tonight.
Number one priority.
It's not on Netflix anymore.
Right now.
She's into her shows right now. I've got to get it on. She's got to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Talladega Nights?
Everyone has to watch Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
What about Talladega Nights? Talladega Nights.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that the other night, too. I named my dog Ricky Bobby, so that tells you where it's at on my list. It's near the top 10. So.
It's near. It's not in, but
it's not in, but it's near.
What about The Natural? No one named The Natural.
I thought that was on one of the lists.
Yeah. It was on Kyle Mullins' list.
Yeah.
Great movie.
You know, it was hard to cut it down.
Close to one of my top 10s.
It was hard to cut it down to 10. I mean, you know, once you list all these sports movies, you're like, you know, cut it down to 20, and then you're like, well, what makes the top 10? So.
Right.
Gladiator.
Right.
But, you know what? I'm impressed that you would take our suggestion of adding that, and not only add it, but put it as number 1.
Oh, it's one of my top 5 movies of all movie genres of all time.
Yes.
So it's got to be number 1 on my sports.
I do agree with you. If I wasn't so afraid to get ripped by guys for Gladiator, it would have easily been in my top 10.
That's so funny you're afraid of that, and I put it number 1.
Yeah, because you guys were giving me crap for it. Oh, Gladiator! All the other movies I threw out.
Hey,
Like,
Morgan, I know Zach probably did, but Morgan, did you? I know Zach played football. Morgan, did you play football in high school or no?
He was a soccer
no,
player, dude.
I was a soccer player.
Okay. Well, Zach, when you guys had like a random half day before a football game, did you all get together and watch like a football movie?
My 7th grade year, we actually went. Remember the Titans came out that year, and we were the Northside Titans was our name. This is in Muncie, Indiana, and we actually went out as a team and saw Remember the Titans before a game.
My high school team was the Lumen Christi Titans, and it still didn't make my top 10. That movie killed it for me. But no, like we used to watch. Before football games, they always tried to, force Rudy down our throats. And then one time we all sat down at someone's house during half day and watched the program. That still was probably the greatest team moment I can remember.
Dude, my teammates were too busy doing other things that I won't even mention. I mean, half our team came in with bloodshot eyes one game. We'll just leave it at that.
Morgan, before your soccer games, what did you guys watch?
We normally went out and had team meals. We go to different areas and have
not game days. Like the day before.
Oh, the day before? Not really. We really didn't do a whole lot. We didn't have that. Everybody get together and watch movies. We kind of did our own thing, and then
no camaraderie in soccer, I guess.
Hey, we had it when we hit the field. No, Bennett like Beckham.
What is that, Keira Knightley? I'd watch that.
You probably have watched that.
No, I honestly can say that I've never watched that movie. I've seen parts of it, and I'm like, oh, Keira Knightley's hot, but I've never watched that movie.
Whatever.
There's a few on the list that I've never watched. For Morgan's, because he needs a soccer movie that I've never heard of, and then on yours, I think there was 1 or 2 maybe, but.
What of mine have you never watched? Hoosiers?
No, I own Hoosiers. I've watched it a few times, and it's a great movie. It's just not one of my favorites. But I'm not a huge basketball person. I'm a short white kid that can't shoot the ball.
I'm not a baseball person. 3 of my top 10 were baseball.
Well, you played baseball.
I've never played baseball.
No?
I've never.
Little league or anything?
No, I never played. I played soccer at that time in my life. I played soccer till the 7th grade, actually.
Wow.
I started.
Explains why you got such little, tiny, chicken legs.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, I even some of the listeners, their list, there's a bunch of them I haven't listened to, or that I haven't watched, so.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap that up. That was fun, though. We like doing stuff like that, and we want you guys to get involved, and we'll get your suggestions up on air as well. We're going to move on. We are starting a new segment now where we're going to start picking 5 games from the upcoming week and then keep track to where I can have bragging rights over these 2 yet again, like in everything else we do.
Who's writing these down, by the way?
Writing what down? I'll write them down. I got my pen next to me.
All right.
Okay, game number 1 is going to be tomorrow on Monday, February 22nd. College basketball. We got number 7 Virginia at number 11 Miami. Morgan, who you got?
In their first meeting, Virginia won 66-58. Miami has a win over a Duke team that's not really looking too impressive right now. Miami does have 4 straight games against ranked opponents, and they're coming off a pretty horrible loss to UNC, 96-71. So I think I'm gonna go with Virginia and that defense on this one. Virginia is second in the country at 59.5 points per game allowed. So that defense is pretty stifling. So I'm gonna go with Virginia on this one.
UVA for you, Doug.
I think Virginia has something to prove after that loss, so I'm going to go with Virginia as well.
I'm going to be the odd man out. It's in Miami. I think Miami's got a great backcourt. I think they're gonna shoot better from 3-point than Virginia does. I'm taking Miami at home. On Wednesday, February 24th, we got number 1 Villanova at number 8 Xavier. Morgan?
Nova won the first meeting pretty convincingly, 95-64. Nova is 8th in the country in scoring defense at 61.3 points per game. The Big East, Xavier's 37th in the country at 79.7 points per game scoring, so that should be good. But in the Big East defense, they're actually number 1 and 2 in the Big East, so it's a pretty big matchup, maybe for a Big East title. Nova is 5th in the country in scoring margin at 14.8. Nova is currently on a 7-game win streak, but I'm gonna go with Xavier. The reason why I'm gonna go with Xavier, even though they're my Dayton Flyers big rival, I can't stand Xavier. Don't like anything about them. Hate everything about them. 5 Associated Press number 1 ranked teams has fallen before February. The last time that happened was the 1948-49 season. That was NCAA just turned 10 years old in that year. So it's been a while since you had a lot of these number 1 teams fall. If you want to count Oklahoma, there's been 6 so far since the year. Xavier came in the season, they weren't even ranked in the top 25. So they are playing with a chip on their shoulder, playing for a Big East title. And I just think the way number 1 teams have been playing, Nova's going to fall at Xavier. So
Doug, who you got?
I have nothing else to say except for go Xavier.
Wow, you guys are on point this day, huh? I'm picking Nova. Nova looked good. I actually watched them the other night. They look like the number 1 team. They look like a team that could carry that into at least the conference tournament. So I'm picking Nova. Going number 1 at Xavier. See, we got Saturday. It's going to be a big sports day for us. Number 6 Maryland. This is February 27th. Number 6 Maryland at number 17 Purdue. Morgan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Maryland on this one. I haven't checked. I think, is Maryland playing Michigan right now?
They just finished, and Maryland won by 4.
Maryland won by 4. Okay, so that ended their 2-game losing streak because Maryland came in on a 2-game losing streak. Maryland won the first game. Say that again?
Their 2-game losing streak was against unranked opponents.
Yeah, it was. Maryland won the first matchup 72-61. Purdue is 4th in the country in rebounds. Purdue has a real good front court there. The tall, lengthy Heyman is the beast. But I'm going to go with Maryland on this one.
Doug?
I'm going to pick Purdue. I like the Boilermakers in this one. Maryland with their unranked losing streak just makes me feel like Purdue can pull this one out.
Yeah, I'm with Doug on this one. I'm going Purdue. If you're a top 10 team and you lose to Michigan, which they did lose the first game to Michigan, we're not a very good team this year. So if you lose to us, you're in their 2-game losing streak. They had Minnesota on that stretch. I'm picking Purdue at home, man. Maryland does not look like they're playing good basketball right now.
Yeah, but this college season has been so crazy that it's really a toss-up.
when we get to our brackets, and we're probably gonna put our brackets online for all you guys to see when we get those done. They're probably gonna be crap. This year's gonna be insane. Also on Saturday, we got a little hockey. We got the Detroit Red Wings at the Colorado Avalanche. Doug, I'm gonna let you kick this one off.
I'm gonna obviously go with Detroit. And my only reasoning is because I am a Detroit fan and I will root for them every time against the Avalanche because they are one of our most historically hated rivals.
Morgan, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Red Wings. When I was younger, I was a huge Red Wings fan. That's when they had Chris Osgood, Fedorov, Lindstrom, Stevie Y. So I was huge Red Wings fan. I kind of fallen off over the years. Didn't really follow hockey a whole lot. But Detroit is 14-10-4 on the road, and Avalanche are 13-13-4 at home. So Detroit is better on the road than Avalanche is at home. So I'm going with the Red Wings.
All right, I am also going Detroit. Remember the good old days of Chris Osgood versus Patrick Wall, the fight between goalies. How awesome was that fight?
Nothing like a goalie fight.
That's awesome. Also on Saturday, we got Golden State Warriors at Oklahoma City Thunder. Morgan.
I'm going to go with OKC on this one. I know Golden State started out the second half of this basketball season with a loss.
They got beat down.
Pretty horrible loss. But Damian Lillard did have 51 points. So he kind of carried the Trailblazers for that one. Golden State won the first game, 116-108. It wasn't really that close until the fourth quarter. Golden State did have an 18-point lead. Oklahoma State came back late in the fourth to tie it. But at the end, Golden State kind of pulled away. Durant and Westbrook combined for 67 points. Durant 14 rebounds, Westbrook 12 assists. Golden State had 4 or 5 players in double figures, so they played a lot more better team ball in that game. But the fact that Oklahoma State was able to come back from almost 20 down at Golden State tells me that they can get it done at home. So I'm going to Oklahoma City.
Doug, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Warriors. I mean, Steph Curry's amazing athlete, and I don't follow the NBA much, but I know enough and I watch enough to know that, just because they let down in the first matchup doesn't mean they're going to do it again. So I'm going to go with Golden State on this one.
We just did a segment on these guys. Of course, I'm picking Golden State, the best team in basketball. They're gonna win this easy. They're gonna win this year easy. Golden State all the way. Those are our 5. You guys can hold us to them. Go ahead and let us know that you went 5-0 after this week, and we'll laugh at you. So we're gonna move on to our Why We Love Sports segment. I'll go ahead and kick us off this time. My Why We Love Sports comes out of Norton, Massachusetts, where Devin Shuko, a senior at Norton High School, a wrestling team captain, was undefeated this year, 27-0, and had 100 wins in his career. Went up against a high school wrestler, Andrew Holland, who has Down syndrome. Andrew Holland's coach had called over at Norton High School, their wrestling coach, and told them that they had a wrestler with special needs, and he was trying to get a matchup for him. And Devin Shuko volunteered and then allowed Andrew to beat him. So his only loss this season came against Andrew Holland, who has Down syndrome. I thought it was a great show of sportsmanship to not only realize that this young man wouldn't have won regularly, realized that he had a mental disability, and allowed him to have his moment, allow him to be the hero in that time, but also to volunteer for it. You're an undefeated state champion, and you volunteer to take on this kid. I thought that was a great example of sportsmanship that we talk about a lot in our Why We Love Sports segment. And my hat's off to Devin Shuko and Andrew Holland for both their sportsmanship.
Yeah, I thought that was a great story. I know I shared that when it first came out. I shared it on my Facebook. That's a great sportsmanship. That's what it's all about in my books.
No doubt. Who's up next?
Go ahead, Morgan.
All right, my Why I Love Sports. So I developed a bad habit now Monday through Friday, staying up and watching Scott Van Pelt Midnight Edition Sports Center. Not going to bed till after 1 o'clock just because it's Scott Van Pelt. The other day, he did this piece where he brought up Jason McElwain. If you guys don't remember him, he was the autistic team. He was kind of like the team manager for the Greece Athena High School basketball team. And 10 years ago was when this story first came out. So it's 10-year anniversary for this, where the coach for the Greece Athena.
10 years?
Yeah. 10
Yeah.
years.
Yep. 10 years in 2006 when this first came out. So 10 years ago in 2006, the coach for Greece Athena High School team decided to put J-Mac, as what his teammates and President Bush called him, put J-Mac in his lineup. Well, he didn't get into the game until about 4 minutes, 10 seconds left. He came in, the crowd went wild, teammates went wild. He was just pumped. Came in, missed his first couple shots, and then he went nuts. He was, as he said, hotter than a pistol. He hit 6 3-pointers in that game. Six 3-pointers, which tied a school record. And he also made a jump shot. So he had 20 points, which was the highest on that team. So he had 20 points in a matter of 4 minutes in a game. He was just on fire. He won the SB best moment in that year. But I watched this video where they kind of talked about and kind of like interviewed him, talked about kind of what he's up to now. He's still an assistant coach with the high school. He's very involved with them. He's also a huge marathon runner, which I did not know this.
I saw that.
Yeah. He has competed in 5 marathons, broken 3 hours in all of them, and he's actually qualified for the Boston Marathon for this year. So I thought that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah,
The guy just keeps on going, man.
yeah.
He's not letting his disability hold him back from living. So that's awesome. More, Doug, you finish this up, man.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take this a little more personal. I have a friend that has a son with a disability. He's wheelchair bound, and normally you would think that someone like that can't compete in the sport, but every year he goes out for his baseball team, gets on the field, gets up to bat, and plays and enjoys the sport for what it is. It's an unfortunate thing that he's stuck in that position, but at the same time, it just goes to show you. I mean, everyone wants to be or has a desire to be active and in the sport and enjoying themselves, and he gets out there every year and plays and gets on the field, and it's a great thing, especially when you have kids of your own and you see other young children accepting him and accepting his disability. It speaks a lot for how far we've come as people in general. I mean, we're more accepting, more I don't know. So just sportsmanship alone. Your wrestling story and Oregon's basketball story, and then you see something close to home with someone that you actually know and have met and spent time with. It's touching, and the fact that we can do that and that people can set aside, perfect records or just the time to help is an amazing thing, and that's one of the reasons I love sports right now.
Nice. We're becoming more. I want to say accepting. I say appreciative of young men and women who overcome their disabilities and their adversities to compete. And as all 3 of us were competitors before, I think we all have a a great appreciation for that and understand how badly they want to compete because we want to compete so bad. That's a great one. So before we wrap up, Morgan, you have something that you want to announce that might as well be another Why We Love Sports.
Yes. So Miami University here in Ohio is having an event February 23rd and then February 24th. February 23rd will be the men's basketball versus Akron. 24th would be the women's basketball team versus Akron. So you got a couple of days to listen to this and get down there. But we are having an adoption event at Miami University during his basketball games. We're going to bring some of our adoptable pets. I know we're going to bring a couple of ours, a couple of pets there. There'll be various other adoption agencies there with different types of pets, whatnot. It'll probably be a lot more dogs. So if you don't have nothing else going on, come down there, check out Miami basketball. I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm more Dayton Flyer, Ohio State basketball. But come down there, check out Miami Redhawks. You can give a donation, maybe find your pet, give them a forever home. I'm excited to take some of our dogs down there. I know we have one that's been in our house for 6-7 months now. So we got to find him a home, and we got another one we're going to take down there. So I look forward to it. It's always a good time taking dogs down there, find their forever homes.
That's an awesome event. Yeah. It's awesome. Glad we get that out there.
Yep. It's called Pause for a Cause.
Pause for a Cause. Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right, and on Facebook, I said we had an announcement coming. We definitely do. We're very excited about this. Doug, what are we going to start doing now?
Starting with podcast number 4, we're going to start bringing on guests, experts, if you will, in topics that we're going to be discussing those weeks. A personal friend of mine will be joining us next week to discuss whether or not cheerleading should be a sport. I think at least once a month we're going to look into bringing someone on to join us in the discussion, not just the topic that they're there for, but to get their opinions on all the topics that we discuss. So you're not hearing the same 3 people argue every week. You'll get a fourth outside observer, just to add a little twist to our current lineup.
And we're very excited about this. We're pumped to have your friend on next week. I don't know how pumped you are to talk about cheerleading, but I'm sure she is. And then we will, again, I don't really know how you're going to argue against it, Doug. I'm very curious to see. So we'll get to that next week. And every month
Do you think cheerleading is a sport?
We just went over the definition like an hour ago.
Oh my God.
We'll get to that next week. We'll bring her on, and she'll give her professional opinion. Because she's a cheerleader coach, correct?
She was a cheerleader, and she's a competitive cheerleader coach now.
Competitive cheerleading coach now. And she was a competitive cheerleader as well?
No, that didn't exist back in the days of real sport.
Priming it already. All right. So we're going to have that for you next week, and we'll have a new guest at least once a month. We're still in talks of how we're going to work all of it, and maybe more. Maybe get a couple guys. But we're excited about that, and we thank you all for listening. Tune in next week, and go ahead and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, share out our podcast episodes so other people can enjoy, and we can get a larger fan base to keep these discussions going. We're not making money off of this. We're not getting paid for this. We do this because we love to debate and argue about sports. So we want the biggest discussion that we can from not only us, the 3 of us, but from our listeners as well. So go ahead and give a share, give a like, and tune in next Monday. We have another exciting show for you guys. Thanks for listening.